Installing a processor and heatsink. The procedure for processor replacement is identical for all ThinkSystem servers with 3rd generation Intel Xeon Scalable processors. To install the processor onto a carrier. Note: do not touch the surface on the bottom of the processor. Make sure the handle on the carrier is in the closed position.
Align the processor on the new carrier so that the triangular marks align, and then insert the marked end of the processor into the carrier. Hold the inserted end of the processor in place and then push the unmarked end of the carrier down and away from the processor. Press the processor and secure the sides under the clips on the carrier.
To assemble the processor and heatsink.
If you are reusing a heatsink, use a syringe to apply 4 uniformly spaced dots of thermal grease on top of the processor. Each dot should contain about 0.1 milliliters of thermal grease.
Note: do not apply thermal grease when installing a CPU on a brand new heatsink. Thermal grease is pre-applied to the bottom of brand new heatsinks. Align the triangular mark on the heatsink label with the triangular mark on the processor carrier and processor. Press the carrier into place until the clips at all 4 corners engage. Visually inspect to make sure that there is no gap between the processor carrier and the heatsink. Installing a heatsink. Align the triangular mark on the heatsink label with the mark on the processor. Push the anti-tilt wire bales outward until they engage with the hooks in the socket. Fasten all the captive screws following the installation sequence shown on the heatsink label. Insert the fan cage into the chassis. Fasten the screws to secure the fan cage. Reconnect the fan cage cable. Install the system fans. Install the air baffle. Install the riser 2 assembly. Install the riser 1 assembly. Install the rear top cover.